Joining me from New York is Sky News US correspondent Annelise Nielsen, who's been outside Donald Trump's Trump Tower in New York after Trump left his home in Florida and flew in his private jet to New York to appear before a Manhattan court in a few hours from now. Annelise Nielsen, thanks for joining me. What is going to happen to Donald Trump over the next 24 hours?
Well, look, he's staying at Trump Tower in Manhattan. The understanding is that he's not going to leave there at all until he goes down to the court tomorrow. This is quite an operation in and of itself. The Secret Service has had to figure out how to get him from the uptown part of Manhattan right down to the bottom part where the actual courthouse is. And there's quite a bit of security around that area already. They're blocking off roads. There's also reporting that they're actually going to shut down the court complex while this whole procedure takes place, because it's not just the court officers who have to manage everything. It's the Secret Service as well. Every US president has them. And I know we've been saying this a lot, but can't say it enough. It is unprecedented, the process they're having to go through for this arraignment tomorrow. Donald Trump will face court. It's there he'll actually learn the charges against him. Right now, he knows that the grand jury's indicted him, but doesn't know with what. And this is going to change everything. It's going to change what they have to prove. It's going to change what potential penalties he's up for. And then after that, the understanding is there won't be any application for him to be held in remand, especially for the kind of categories of offences we're talking about. That would be very unlikely and logistically probably impossible. So what they're saying is he'll fly back. He's already sent out his press release about what his speech is going to be in Mar-a-Lago. So he's expected to make a big speech in the evening, local time, around 8:15 p.m. So he's obviously quite confident he'll be back in time for that.
And does he get the whole trimmings, fingerprinting, mugshot, that sort of stuff?
Well, this is interesting. The fingerprinting is a kind of a given at this point. The mugshot apparently has been pushed back on by Donald Trump's team. And it is interesting. The purpose of a mugshot is for public accountability, that when police go after someone, there should be a public record of that. And it's also to be used if someone tries to run away from the police and hide. And that's not really a concern with a former president. The Secret Service always knows where he is. He can't just move on his own. So the question is why? Is it political in and of itself? And mugshots are a lot more common in the US. They are publicly listed in most states. A lot of police departments post them on their Facebook pages, in local papers. But in this instance, it does become highly political. Although there's also the argument that it could be used by Donald Trump in his own marketing to say he's being persecuted, that this is a political campaign. But no one really knows how that's going to play out. This has never happened before. We've never had a former president running again as well, keep that in mind, for office, and the discussion of a mugshot. I think if any mugshot's taken, there's zero chance that it will stay secret. It will absolutely get leaked out.
Well, you mentioned the politics of it. Now, we don't know the exact charges, as you say. They seem to involve alleged misuse of campaign finances to shut up a porn star that says she had an affair with Donald Trump. But what are the Republicans saying about those charges? Because don't forget, many Republicans don't like Donald Trump, not in the leadership cadre. But what are they saying about these charges?
Yeah, and a lot of Republicans want to move on from Donald Trump. But on these charges, it's almost across the board, not just Republicans. A lot of Democrats as well are saying that this does seem not just politically motivated, but also like it has the potential to be an own goal, that it's enlivening his base again that was petering off into the background as the Republican Party moved on. Now they've got a new cause. But I mean, I was outside Trump Tower today. The media outnumbered the Trump supporters 5-1, I'd say. It wasn't the most overwhelming crowd. There's a rally planned for outside the courthouse tomorrow, led by Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've seen that Matt Gaetz is going to be attending Donald Trump's speech at Mar-a-Lago tomorrow night in response to all this. And I thought that was interesting because a lot of Republicans were busy when Donald Trump announced his campaign run again and unfortunately weren't able to make it. And a lot of those same Republicans are putting their hands back up and talking in his defence. But I think that's probably more about the political nature of this investigation as opposed to wanting to necessarily get on Trump bandwagon again.
Well, the two Republicans you did mention who'll be there are of the very fringe of the Republican Party. But it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, even Democrats are saying, look, regardless of whether he broke the law or not, the charges aren't that huge. They seem a little of a stretch, and it's incendiary to persecute or prosecute Trump on this, because the consequences for American politics could be terrible. I mean, just the optics of, one triumphant political party now prosecuting the leader, the former president, it just makes it look like Banana Republic. Who knows what it's going to do to the base? Now, Annelise, there's been a lot of worry, concern, again, also from Democrats, that this could incite civil unrest. I don't know. There's a lot of heated predictions. I don't know whether they're going to manifest, turn out true. What has the reaction been, as far as you can see so far, from Donald Trump supporters?
I mean, I was outside Trump Tower all day. There was a group of supporters, but it wasn't that many. We're expecting this rally tomorrow. Generally, it doesn't have the same heat that we had a few years ago. I don't see it turning into huge protests or riots. I think it will especially die off as we talk about a court date potentially being a year away. And things do seem to have changed a bit. I know law enforcement's much quicker to respond now. They have plans in place now, and they're not caught on the hop like they were in 2020. But there's just kind of not that feeling generally from what I experience being here, that people are just kind of on edge about it. I think there is a very good possibility that there'd be a small group of people who were very angry about it and might do something in a small coordinated capacity. But again, the New York City police were doing a briefing today. They say they have no specific intelligence on it. We'll obviously be here for it. It doesn't take a lot of people to cause a bit of chaos if they have the wrong intentions in mind. But generally speaking, I think a lot of the Trump adoration has dissipated, and people are ready for a bit of a next chapter.
Annelise Nielsen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.